If you're thinking about becoming a developer, or maybe you've already started the journey, don't quit your day job. Now, usually when you hear that phrase, don't quit your day job, it has a negative tone to it. And it has the idea that you probably shouldn't be trying to do what it is you're trying to do. You should just go back and do what you're used to doing. You do what you know you can do. Well, that's not really what I'm talking about today. Today, I want to give you 3 reasons that you may not have thought of as to why you should stay in your current job while you're learning to become a software developer. See, I've heard from a lot of junior developers recently who have quit their jobs and jumped full into the training, and they go through a boot camp or go through some other form of training, even going to the university or a college or something like that. And they go through all this process, and then they get really close to graduating, and now they're worried because they're not seeing a lot of jobs available for people who are just getting through the learning process. So, of course, the obvious reasons why you should not quit your day job is that you probably need money to support yourself or your family, unless you're independently wealthy, as you go through the process of becoming a developer, as you go through the learning process. In fact, you may need money from a job to be able to pay for the training that you're going through, if you're going through a boot camp or some other training course or something like that. So you probably need money to support yourself in the journey. But as I just mentioned a minute ago, right now it's really hard for junior developers to get into a good paying job right out of schooling, right out of training. And so if you have already left your job, it may be difficult to support yourself in that in-between period from learning to code to actually getting into your career. However, I have 3 other reasons why you should stay in your current job, not just for financial reasons, but reasons that will actually help you as a developer. So let's dive in. Hey, Junior Devs, Dev Mentor Dave here, helping you bridge the gap from learning to code to launching a successful career. Maybe you've thought of some reasons why you should keep your day job that I haven't thought of, and if so, share them with others in the comments below. Okay, so reason number 1 is that your day job is a great place for you to hone some very specific skills that developers need. And there's 2 skills that I'm specifically thinking of. The first one is recognizing problems or recognizing inefficiencies in the way that people do work. See, as developers, especially software developers, most of the time, we're tasked with creating applications that fix inefficiencies or that fix the way people do things to make them more efficient at their jobs, to make them more successful at their jobs, to automate processes that they either don't want to do manually or that just takes too long to do manually when they can do it in an automated fashion. And when you're at a job that you're very familiar with, it's going to be easier for you to look around and find areas in your job, in your current role even, that might be inefficient. For example, I was talking to my cousin a few years ago, and he was telling me about this process that they had where they would send a spreadsheet with information that they filled out up multiple levels in the organization, and each level of the organization would fill out different pieces of this spreadsheet for reporting purposes. And I said, that's really insane. Why would you do that? He said, well, that's just the way that we've always done it. And see, even as an engineer, he didn't really recognize the inefficiency of what was going on there. But as a developer, part of our job is to be able to look at those situations and see those inefficiencies. And so if you are just learning code in a vacuum, you're not going to really be able to put that into real world experiences. Whereas if you have a day job, if you're still working, you can be thinking about, hey, there's a problem, here's an inefficiency in my job, and then not only recognize those inefficiencies, but figure out a way to solve them. See, that's the other half of being a developer, not just recognizing problems and inefficiencies, but creating solutions for them. See, a good developer would look at that situation and say, hey, I can think of a solution that would make this a whole lot easier. We could send notifications to people when things have been inputted, make it easier for everybody to put their information in, automate the calculations, all the stuff that needs to happen in this application, and it would save a lot of time. But if you're not in a day job where you're dealing with problems and situations all the time, and you're not looking for inefficiencies, if you're just sitting there writing code and following tutorials, or you're just sitting there and doing what the instructor tells you to do, then you're not really applying it to the real world. And having a day job actually gives you the opportunity to think about what you're learning and apply that to real world situations. Hey, thanks for letting me be a part of your developer journey. We're in the process of building a community where junior developers can grow their skills and take that next step in their career. So if you're finding this content helpful, would you help me get this message out to more people by clicking the like button? And if you're not subscribed, click the subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified the next time I upload a video or the next time I go live, which is every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central United States time. Also, don't forget you can take your involvement with the Dev Mentor Dave community to the next level by joining our Discord server via the link in the description. Thanks again for your help, and I'll let you get back to the video. The second reason why you should keep your day job is that it could actually be your first programming gig. Now, if you've been around this channel for very long, you kind of know my story, and that's how I got started. I was working in a call center and I noticed an inefficiency in the way that we were doing some things. And so I got permission to get off the phones for a little bit every day and work on a little program that would help us be more efficient in what we were trying to do, taking calls for our clients. Of course, over time, that turned into another project, and eventually I left that company to pursue being a developer full time. So while you're at your day job, you find those inefficiencies and you think about the ways that you can solve those with code, with programming, and then you can either on the side go home and at night work on that solution, and maybe you create the solution, you bring it to your boss, you bring it to your company, and you can sell it to them. Or maybe like me, you can kind of work yourself into a new role, into a new programming job right there at the company. This is something that's a lot harder to do if you don't have a day job to interact with on a daily basis. If you just jump right out of your boot camp or jump right out of your training or whatever it is that you're going through to teach yourself how to become a developer, if you just try to ping a bunch of different companies and ask them to give you work, that's probably not going to work very well. But if you can solve specific inefficiencies in your job with code, there's a chance you might actually create your own position at your company. So don't quit your day job because it could be your first programming gig. Okay, last but not least, don't quit your day job because it will actually help you appreciate your first real programming job that much more. When you make that transition from the thing that you don't really want to do anymore to the thing that you really want to pursue, that's going to make it a whole lot more enjoyable. That's going to actually help you enjoy some of the hard things about the new job, enjoy some of the things, the mundane things about being a programmer. When you look back and see the things that you didn't like, the thing that you didn't want to do, the thing that wasn't giving you as much money as you're making now, all those things that were negatives before, when you look at your new job, when you maybe see some things you don't like in your new job, you can see all those things in the past and look back and be grateful for this new job. Be grateful for this new industry that you're working in. I'll be honest with you, I really didn't like taking phone calls. I enjoyed all the people that I worked with, but I didn't want to be taking phone calls for the rest of my life. I wanted to do something cooler and better and build things. And so when I look back at that, I am so glad that I had that opportunity. I'm so glad that it was able to bring me into the career that I'm in now. But I'm definitely more grateful for being where I am now than I would be if I had stayed at that job. So hopefully it's not too late for you to keep your day job or maybe find another day job in this process of becoming a software developer. Don't forget, if you want to be a part of a community of junior developers that's growing together and supporting one another, check out the Discord channel in the details section of this video below. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you on the next one.